Hi guys, welcome to a Muses Musings. This is my first podcast episode, first vlog, and I am super excited to be here. So my name is Victoria. I am an actor, a breathwork facilitator, a writer, and a coach in the making. So how this podcast is going to go, at least starting out, is I am taking questions on literally anything. So I encourage you to visit the show notes and ask me a question. And then we'll see what happens from there. I'm sure it's going to change and adapt as time goes on. But our first question, and the first podcast episode is from Chianne. And the question is how to be happy though human. Thank you, Chianne, for that question. I think it is something we have all wondered at one point, especially as of late. So let's dive in. I took a bunch of notes, so please bear with me as I reference them back and forth. I have a tendency to ramble and get off track, and I want to make sure I keep this within the realm of the question. Okay, so I would love to start with a happiness reframe, a reframe around what you, the general you. I'm going to say you, and when I say you, it's the general you, not necessarily you, Chianne, unless I specify that. So I think most of us think of happiness as this high, this goal, this thing to attain, to grasp, to get. Like, I just want to be happy. It's like this, the end all be all. And unfortunately, happiness is a very fleeting thing. And the more we try to get it, grasp it, hold it, the more it is going to evade us. And the opposite is true for emotions we want to avoid, sadness, or it's vice versa, I guess. So for like sadness, depression, etc., the more we push that away instead of facing it, the more it's going to creep in. So I would like to look at happiness instead as cultivating a sense of safety, security, stability in your body. That is what has helped me significantly on this journey, because at the end of the day, the partner, the house, the job, the certain income, etc., that's not going to make you happy forever. I mean, I'm sure you'll get like a temporary high, excitement, but I mean, we've heard it all before from various celebrities, CEOs, almost anyone who has accomplished something great. They'll tell you, I got this thing and I thought I was going to be happy. I worked and I pushed and I sacrificed for this thing. I got it and I still wasn't happy. Why is that? That's because happiness is something, like I was saying earlier, that we cultivate from within. And a great place to start, or happiness, stability, I'm going to use those two interchangeably for the most part. So a good first step is finding gratitude for what you already have and accepting yourself as you are in this moment. Loving yourself for whoever you are in this moment, finding gratitude for the blessings that you already have, and knowing that it is totally okay to want more. It is totally okay to know that you deserve this bigger life. You deserve the higher salary. You deserve whatever you are calling in and manifesting. It's not selfish. It's not greedy. It's your birthright to call in abundance, to be abundant. So I wanted to feel into the difference between that, the energy of that, versus the energy of, because sometimes I think people can look at acceptance as like a complacency or surrendering in a bad way, or like just giving up, being kind of passive. But it's actually you accepting yourself and loving yourself and knowing that you deserve more, and also taking aligned action toward attaining more. We're not just sitting around and waiting for it to fall into our laps. Taking that aligned action, that is what is going to allow your manifestations to come through. Not beating yourself up and pushing and working to exhaustion. Like, yes, you can make things happen that way, but is that fun? Is that like really the life you want to live? So and it does not have to be that way. I think a lot of people think that is how you have to do it. That is the only way. That's not true. So we're feeling into this first energy of love and acceptance and all those things. And then there's this other energy of, I'm looking at my notes, so I'm looking over here. Okay, here it is. Okay, this other energy is, I'll be happy once I get A, B, and C, and I'm not going to stop until I got it. Okay, until I get it. Okay, I got it. Still feeling kind of empty. I want more. On to the next thing. That is like the, I'm trying to fill this hole with outside validation type energy, versus the, I'm already whole, I'm already secure, I'm already happy. And when this other thing comes in that I'm manifesting, it's like a bonus to how awesome I am and my life already is. And I'm going to get into some tips that'll help you come into that energy. If you're listening to this right now and you're like, okay, Victoria, that sounds great, but like, how do I do that? We are going to cover that in a bit. So there's that. And I just wanted to share some personal examples, because as of late, my current reality, I truly feel so happy and whole and just like grateful for my life. And I have never really been fully there. Of course, I've had moments of that, but I feel like because of the work I've done on myself recently, and also on top of that, accepting that I am already whole and complete and I don't need to be fixed, like those two different things that may seem contradictory, but maybe I'll get into that in another episode. But I truly feel like this is my new baseline and my new threshold. So it doesn't mean I'm never going to be sad again. I'm never going to be angry again. It just means that I can come back to this smooth, neutral, even baseline so much easier than I would be able to in the past, where it was this roller coaster of up and down, lots of down, a little bit of up, lots of down. So because of the work I've done, which I'll get into in a second, I recently, this is a vulnerable share, it was tax season this month, and I am an independent contractor, so I tend to pay out quite a bit during tax season. So I had that coming up, I had rent to pay, and I just had a lot of things going on, and I was not sure how I was going to pay any of that. And in the past, I would have been in this extremely anxious place, trying to like asking people for help, family or my boyfriend or whoever, like just trying to like force this solution, having all of this anxiety and stress about it, understandably. But I recently did the authenticity challenge through To Be Magnetic, and because of the different steps and practices in that, I felt like that really helped me. And I've done a ton of other work too, but just that was like what was happening at that moment in time. I really felt like I could just trust that I was doing everything I could. I was taking aligned action versus forcing, pushing, freaking the fuck out. I was just doing all that I could. I was opening income portals that I knew how to open. And I was like, okay, God, I trust you. I'm going to just, I'm not going to go into this head tailspin. I'm going to just keep doing what I'm doing and keep trusting, coming back to this energy of keep trusting. So on March 31st, I randomly get almost $3,000 worth of residual checks from a commercial I did over a year ago. I have not received any money from that commercial since November. Totally random. And I like cried. I literally like dropped to my knees and cried. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. So would that check have come in regardless of me doing all the trusting and all that stuff I just talked about? Probably, yes. But what energy would I have been in when that check came through? Like I would have just been stressing myself out, worried, probably at that point would have got money from someone else and felt really bad about doing that. I don't like to do that, and I've rarely had to do that, like ask for it. And so I would have put myself in this low worth position, or viewing myself as such, and I would have put myself through all this inner turmoil, and instead of just trusting that it was all going to work out. And so now I had, in that other scenario on a different timeline, I would have just felt so much worse about myself and just perpetuated this idea that I cannot earn money on my own. That's like something that, that's a limiting belief I've had to work through, that I always need help. I can't earn money on my own, blah, blah, blah. So by trusting and allowing, I now have tangible, that is tangible evidence that I don't have to, like, I don't need anyone to help me. Like, the universe has my back. God has my back. Like, it's going to be okay. I have my back. I have my back. So that was like a huge moment for me. And then another example that's in this realm of like building that security, that trust, which is intertwined with happiness. I have been trying to get out of my lease for my apartment for probably since the beginning of 2025. And by trying, I mean, I've just been trying to get in touch with the property managers, and it's been this whole thing. There was like, someone was fired, they got a new person, whatever. And I proposed switching my lease from 1 year, which is not going to end till end of December, to 6 months. And I offered to give my security deposit, offered to find someone to move in, offered to do all the things. So please don't come to me after this and be like, did you try this? Because trust me, I fucking tried it. And eventually they got back to me and were like, no, we can't do that. And there was a few minutes where I went into a rage. Like, the rage started to bubble up. The Karen energy started to bubble up. I was like, you're going to say no to me? Like, I was like, I'm going to call your manager's motherfucking manager. And I got like very angry for literally, it didn't even get to that point, but I just felt it bubbling up. That's what I would have done in the past. I would have like complained about it, made a big deal about it, like just made it this huge big thing, only to probably find out that I still could not change my lease. But instead, I took a breath, I stared at the email, and this feeling just washed over me where I was like, this is meant to happen. This is happening for my highest good. I can trust, especially after that little residual check incident, I can trust that this is happening for a reason. And I don't need to know right now why. I can still move to Knoxville and I can still have this place here. Yes, it's annoying to have to pay rent, whatever, but this is happening for a reason. And I trust that the money will be there. I trust that everything is working out. And yeah, I was like so proud of myself to just be able to let that go, because that is so not something I would have been able to do at any other point in my life. So Now on to what you can do to try to cultivate this sense of happiness, of inner peace, security, stability, whatever you want to call it. So something I have been really working on, and kind of unknowingly that this was the root issue until recently, was that I really didn't feel safe in my body, which led to a lot of different things. And this is the root of a lot of addictions. This is not feeling safe internally is the root of, I would say, a lot of mental health complications. I'm just gonna use that word. Mental health complications. That is a difficulties, struggles. You guys get it. So how that manifested for me, I don't know if I already said this, but I would overeat. The food pushed, I wanted to push down this discomfort with food. I did not want to look at the feelings underneath. I was just like, I'm going to eat my way out of this. And anytime I tried to lose weight, tried to eat less, it was like a monster inside of me. This demonic thing was just like, no. And then I would just go right back to what I was doing. And I tried every diet, every exercise plan, everything you could possibly do. But guess what? Losing weight, healing your relationship with food has literally nothing to do with that. It has to do with your emotions, your trauma. So something I did with so my top 3 things as of late, because I went ham in the past, from age 32 to now, I've gone ham with like the therapies and mental health stuff. And as of late, I've been like, okay, I have this under control. I am whole. I have inner wisdom, and I can take a break from like all these different things because I have my own tools and I'm going to like trust myself. But I did need that help to get to this point. Absolutely. I'm so grateful for the people who I've worked with recently. So the 3 things that really helped me to heal and to feel this safety in my body, so I'm not searching for things outside of me to feel safe all the time, to feel validated, to feel worthy, was breath work, of course, emotion code technique, which I worked with Elsa. I'll put her information underneath. I referred her to so many people. I never gatekeep people who help me. I'm like, if this can help someone, please do it. And then, like what I mentioned before, To Be Magnetic, they have a monthly program called The Pathway that has been so helpful. And also, I mean, there's been so many things, but doing EMDR and I would say what that stands for, but I forget. I know it's eye movement, something, I always forget. And then IFS, internal family systems, with my therapist. That has been, those things have been huge. That's what's coming to mind right now. So yeah, and if you are either you're not in a place financially to work with someone, or you're just not ready to work with someone for whatever reason, some things you can do on your own is you can do breath work on your own. You can, of course, meditate on your own, or you can just sit with this this feeling that you feel, the feeling or the memory, the block that is coming up for you, that you feel is preventing you from feeling happy, from feeling secure, from feeling safe in your body. You can set that. So before you get quiet, before you do the breath work, if you're going to do that, bring to mind the first time you felt this defense mechanism, this emotion, this block, this repressed trauma, like the first time you experienced it. So for example, for me, I would sit down and bring to mind my first memory of using food to soothe myself, to regulate myself. and I would bring to mind a memory, and I would connect with that version of myself, that past version of myself. So, like my inner child, whatever age she was at. And I would just set the intention that I wanted to work with her and that I wanted to understand what she was going through, or what she is going through, what she's experiencing. So then you can place your hands on it. Like, let's say if there's like a physical sensation that is coming through. For me, it's always like a tightness in my throat or in my chest. So you could maybe put your hand in any area that feels tense or heavy, maybe your stomach, hips, and just breathe into that face, that face. Breathe into that place. Connecting with this younger version of yourself. And you could also do this as a journal prompt. You could set this intention and then journal. And then start the meditation, start the breathwork session, whatever modality you're choosing, and just see what comes up. You might be really in your head at first. It might take a few times to really sit and understand what's going on. But just be patient with yourself. And more will be revealed. Like, the more you sit with it, the more you let your subconscious, your inner child, your nervous system, whatever, know that you are open to connecting, you are open to understanding, you're coming from a place of love, compassion, curiosity. You're not just like pushing it down and avoiding. The more will come up, the more your inner self will feel safe to reveal what is going on and allow you to process and heal that. So when you sit with that emotion, when you sit with that part of yourself, you're finally allowing it to be seen, to be felt, to be released. So it's not this thing that you're just like burying and pushing down. You're seeing yourself. So that is the idea of that. Sorry, I had someone knock on my door in the middle of this and I got a little flustered. So I hope that still all makes sense. I live in an apartment complex. But anyway, I think that's it on this topic. I think that I covered everything. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next time.